On the surface, Ready Player One is stuffed with pop culture references, but a little deeper within the movie are some crucial details and messages worth exploring. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers, it's Jan here, and today I'm explaining the ending to Ready Player One and that final scene between Wade and Halliday, plus what it means for a potential sequel. If you're new here and enjoy this video, remember to like and subscribe for more stuff like this. Of course, spoilers ahead for the movie, so take care if you've not seen it yet. Ready Player One is set in a dystopian future in which people escape the real world by visiting the OASIS, a vast virtual reality universe co-created by designer James Halliday and his friend Ogden Morrow. But when Halliday dies, he sets a quest for Gunters to track down one Easter egg that will unlock a fortune and give them complete control of the OASIS. It's when Wade, aka Parzival, begins to research Halliday's archives that he discovers the secret track behind him in the race that leads him to the first key. Wade used Halliday's fear of going forward to figure out that he needed to go backwards. This is the first example of Wade taking time to connect with the game's creator, James Halliday, which helps him to figure out the answers he needs. This theme is taken forward and is crucial to the whole movie, plus it's also how Wade got that extra life coin which came in so useful later on. Wade makes the next breakthrough when his Parzival avatar teams up with Artemis and the rest of the High Five, and they work together on the second challenge. The setup for this is a stunning recreation of The Shining, and again, to crack this challenge, the team have to understand Halliday's personal history and failings. It was when Halliday gave up trying to communicate with Kira, who he loved, that he retreated from the world and broke up his friendship with Ogden Morrow. At this point in the movie, it's Samantha, aka Artemis, who has the emotional depth to properly understand the situation, and she realizes that Kira needs to be freed from the kind of emotional prison that Halliday has trapped her in. Artemis realizes the leap that Halliday referred to in his clue is more than a literal leap. So in the Overlook Hotel's ballroom, she jumps over to Kira, fighting off the zombies, and asks her to dance, the very thing that Halliday couldn't bring himself to do. The final key and challenge involves a game called Adventure. Although the villainous Nolan Sorrento's team eventually figures out how to win the game, they find to their dismay that winning doesn't actually get them the key. Instead, as Wade discovers, what Halliday wanted players to learn was that it's not about winning, it's about playing. Rather than triumphing at the game, Halliday wanted the players to discover the game's Easter egg and in that way connect with the original creator. By the way, in real life, Atari, which developed the adventure game in the 1970s, refused to give credit to their game's designers and programmers, and so this digital Easter egg was how one particular designer hid a credit for himself in the game. The message that Halliday and ultimately Spielberg seem to want to convey in Ready Player One is the idea of a player forming a bond with the inventor. Playing the game in this way transcends the limitations of simply trying to get the highest score or winning, and instead it means the creator and the player can enjoy a shared moment. In fact, the connection between characters, audiences, and the filmmaker is a recurring theme in Spielberg's movies. Films can feel like ongoing conversations between a director and their audience, and can create a long-lasting sense of closeness between a filmmaker or film and us viewers. Speaking recently at a Ready Player One event at South by Southwest, Spielberg noted that when I decide to make a movie sitting in the audience with you, I direct in the seat right next to you, and your reaction is everything. But not only does Spielberg prize that strong connection with his own audience, he also feels that bond with the work of other filmmakers too. Indeed, he's talked previously about the unforgettable effect on him of Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey and David Lean's Lawrence of Arabia. And it's interesting to see this idea of a deep connection emphasized again in Ready Player One. In fact, it's that understanding that allows Wade to realize that if he signs Halliday's contract for sole ownership of the OASIS, he'll make the same mistake that Halliday did when he lost his friendship with Ogden Morrow, his partner in Gregarious Games. And that's when Anorak reveals the secret prize beyond the ownership of the OASIS is to meet Halliday. Parzival enters a room with Halliday where a young Halliday is sitting playing a video game. In that childhood room, Halliday gives Wade the real Easter egg prize, explaining to him that he created the OASIS because he never felt at home in the real world, and he didn't know how to connect with people. But Halliday adds that just before he died, he realized that although the real world was scary to him, reality was, in his words, the only place you could get a good meal, and the only place that's actually real. Like Halliday, Spielberg has often talked about how his own fears have fueled his filmmaking over the years, providing the starting place for many of his projects, adding that the stories always vanquish the fear. And in a further echo of Halliday's words in the film, Spielberg recently stated in an interview with EW that escape has its pleasurable and medicinal place, but total escape should not be a destination. So in the end, Wade shares control of the OASIS with his friends, the High Five, and they decide to close the OASIS 2 days a week to encourage people to participate in the real world and connect with other people there. And what's curious about that last scene with Halliday is that it implies that what we're seeing is an AI version of the man. It's almost as if Halliday managed to duplicate his consciousness and upload it into the OASIS to live on and make sure an appropriate successor was chosen to inherit the virtual world. It's an interesting theory and would also allow for Halliday's character to return should a sequel to the movie ever be made. So what did you think of Ready Player One, and would you like to see a sequel? And what were your favourite moments or Easter eggs in the film? Aside from the Shining sequence, one of my favourites was the Zemeckis Cube, which turns back time in homage to Back to the Future director Robert Zemeckis. Let me know what you enjoyed most about the movie in the comments below. And if you liked this video, I really appreciate a thumbs up and subscribing. You can also check out more videos you'll like right here. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers!